Welcome to Bold, Brave, and Blunt, discussing KUSD
Hi,
topics with
welcome.
Jeremy,
We're back again.
our young
We are
conservative candidate for school board.
Our second candidate, Jeremy Oster. Hi, Jeremy. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Great. We're going to ask you some questions, and I'm going to give you your first question. Just answer as best as you can. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. Back again. So, Jeremy, why are you running for school board?
I've been at KUSD since I was in second grade. I didn't know much about KUSD and like the school board type stuff since, when I was in second grade, I didn't really care about stuff like that. But I always heard my mom complaining. She was always complaining about something. And then in high school, I started thinking more about it. I'm like, I want to go into education. I want to be a teacher and stuff like that. And so I started paying more attention to the KUSD school board stuff. I've seen the ups and downs of KUSDs, and a lot recently KUSD has just been going downhill. And I think KUSD needs a new voice on the school board instead of the same people that are on the overall.
Perfect. So what experiences do you believe in your skills that make you kind of qualified for this position?
I mean, like I said, I'm still in high school, but I'd say it's the amount that I've paid attention to stuff like this. I mean, I know more about KUSD. So like friends of mine and parents of KUSD students. So I don't have that much. It's not like I've been a teacher for 10 years and I work in KUSD or stuff like that. It's
Your passion.
Watched a lot.
Yeah, your passion and your heart. Okay.
I've heard you've gone to every school board in the last 12 months.
Yeah, that's right.
So
January last year was the first one I went to.
how do you feel that experience helps you be a good candidate? Is there anything about that you feel?
It shows commitment.
I agree.
I think it shows commitment. I go to all the meetings like some people. I pay attention. I mean, that's the thing. I pay attention to these school board meetings. I go to them. I go to school the next day and I talk about it. And we got teachers who don't even know what happened. Oh, that happened? Yeah, 2 months ago. Oh.
Right. Well, determination and passion can take you everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not about always what position you are, because there are people who've been in these, up there nonchalant of positions, but they don't have the heart and they don't have the passion or the commitment. Well, give me a lot of kudos for that. So go ahead and Shala. Your first question.
So just real quick. So the 4 different categories that we picked are the categories that I let you know. So we're going to each ask you a question about taxes and budget. Secondly, we're going to ask you about teacher support, burnout, retention, discipline in the classroom. That's kind of what that's all about. Student success and what that means to you. And then finally, safety. And then we'll give you a chance to close out with using your own words. And then we'll go from there. Does that sound okay for you? All right. So my question is, what is the biggest waste of money in our district right now?
I think there's a lot, but for me, from what I see, it's a mismanagement of money. I think that they're always wanting to spend on all this other new stuff, but then they have issues within communities. Like they want to build the 7 secured entryways. They went to the referendum last year. That failed because nobody trusted them with the way that they spent their money. I think a lot of money is mismanaged in the downtown building. I think a lot of stuff down there is because I looked at some people's like salary schedules because it's like, oh, it's only supposed to go up like 2.9% or whatever it is every year. Like, well, from this number to that number for salary, that's more than 2.9%. And it's not the superintendent, his contract's different. But like just people downtown, I think that I don't think that there should be so many administrators downtown. That was the thing for me. And like some people think there should just be a superintendent. I don't know how well that would work with a school district our size, but I think downtown a big problem is, within KUSD, I think a big problem is the downtown office. They have a lot of people down there that are paid too much.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, a lot of people down there that I think so you got people that are in the teaching and learning office, like a coordinator for this and a coordinator for that. There's no reason you need 2 coordinators for math and science. Same thing. But they're not classified as administrator. From what I read, they're not classified as administrators like DPI, like the state. But they're still paid like 117. Like each of them's paid like 117 to 120.
Are they classified as administrators in our district?
Yeah. But
Okay.
what I looked into is, well, it's like you look at Racine. Racine doesn't have a coordinator for math, a coordinator for this. They have like 3 positions just like that, and we have like 6, maybe 8, with the head honcho for that office. Racine
Bill
doesn't-
Hathcock. He's
no,
the head.
Wendy Tyndall.
Okay.
So the academic stuff. And I think that what they do in there, I don't think it's complete. For the amount of people they have in there, in that office specifically, I think it's overdone with
Mhm.
what they do. Like I talk to teachers all the time, they think that the people in that office are completely useless.
Okay.
But
I mean, I'm
Um,
sure they have some
I'm
value.
sure that they do something down there. I mean, that's the thing I'm saying. I don't think that that office is completely useless. I just don't think that they should have so many down there, and their salaries should be so crazy
Yeah,
like
Got
they
it.
are.
I agree.
All right.
All right. My question. School budgets are tight. What should never be cut and what should be fair game?
I think when it comes to school budget stuff that should never be cut is like, I mean, if you ask me, and this is like me because I've been in high school for a while, so I mean, it kind of gets me both ways because like for me, it sucked. It sucked a lot when like the tech ed classes were cut.
Oh, okay.
Like when the funding in those areas were cut
Okay.
big time. It's the amount, like my freshman year, it was good, everything was fine. Next year comes along, their budget's cut in half. Like my freshman year, I think I don't know what their budget was. Somebody told me what it was. It was over half over half next year was taken away from them. So it was hard to buy things like wood and tools. Same thing for the automotive class. It was hard to buy stuff like that. And they had to be very, like, they had rational, or whatever it is.
Yeah, ration.
It's just little stuff. They couldn't do as many projects as they used to.
Okay.
I think stuff like that and like,
So the hands-on class
yeah, that type of
that
stuff.
it cost.
I think special ed's a different type of funding that shouldn't be cut.
Well, that also comes from a different bucket in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what could be on the chopping block in your opinion, if anything? Maybe nothing. Sounded like some salaries maybe at the ESC.
Yeah, that. I think KUSD security too. That's my thing with them. So
They should be cut?
So you have SROs, you have the school cops, and you have deans and stuff like that. But then you have a security ESP, and there's like an Indian Trail specific. There's like 7 of them.
Okay, hold on. What is a security ESP?
ESP is like educational support. What they do is they're supposed to act as security. They walk the hallways, they check the bathrooms, they tell kids to get to class, and they have a big job description. And I mean, I feel like somebody that does their job correctly, it's the position, it's the hourly there for them is warranted. They monitor study halls, they monitor in-school suspensions. They kind of assist the deans if they need to go find a kid and they can't find them. But like at Indian Trail, you get a lot of security ESPs there that just don't do their job.
Okay,
They walk
gotcha.
around and they're chatting on their phone. You've got 3 of them that are all buddy. I mean, I
Okay.
just saw those 3 at Walmart last night, jumping around, doing nothing, whatever they wanted. I mean, that's one thing, you're not on the clock. But when they're at school, they're all buddy. They're walking around on their phones. One of them was actually caught smoking with a kid in the bathroom.
Is this like hall monitors?
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, I heard a lot of not so great things about that.
Yeah.
What a waste.
And I think it'd be one thing if they actually did their jobs, walk the hallways. That's what you have to do.
I think we need to go back. One of them was caught in the bathroom smoking with students?
That's what I was told. Teacher told me that.
Oh my
She
goodness.
said, because they have they bought those vape detectors or whatever it was, smoke detectors in the bathrooms. And staff meeting, I was there with a teacher of mine, I was helping him out in his room. And he comes back from the staff meeting just laughing. And he tells me, he goes, And then, but he goes, I don't know if I can tell you this. He's like, I don't know if I can tell you this, but he told me anyways. He goes, principal's up there standing. He goes, principal says, I never thought I'd have to say this, but those vape detectors were meant to catch students, not staff. And then he said next to him was the dean that caught this individual, and this dean said who this person's name was. It's a security guard. So
Interesting.
That's rough.
yeah, and these security guards, half of them are more busy trying to be best friends with these kids. So you got kids in the hallway. You're supposed to, oh, what are you doing here? Go to class. But there's kids that just constantly skip class and they just hang out with security in the hallway.
Mm.
And they sit there chat. They're all sitting there on their phones, which is a big no-no. They didn't teach for students. No phones.
Is it like babysitting?
Yeah.
Mm.
But I laughed once because you got security sitting there at the end of the hallway with a bunch of their kids that hang out with them, and they're all just sitting there scrolling on the phone. Oh, screw this, F this. And I walked out of a room, I saw them here, I go that way. Started walking in the hallway, I see the principal come around the hallway, around the turn, and I turn around, and they all jumped up and went separate ways.
Oh wow.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
Wow. That's a revelation.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on to teachers. How do we protect great teachers without protecting a bad system?
I think, because when the sheet that you sent me and I was looking at one of them, I did a lot of thought like the discipline in the classroom, so I'll tie that into this. I think when it comes to protecting good teachers, because you hear teachers all the time, well, teachers said this to a student, teachers did this, and now they're on suspension and stuff like this. But some of them are good teachers, but I feel like half the problem is when they're sent out of the class, like sent to the dean's office.
Students?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're sent out of the dean's office, and either they don't go or the deans don't do what they're supposed to do. They go back to class, students continue doing what they want to do. Teachers have enough and they say something, but
So you think that goes to like teacher burnout?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think,
So what could we do better for that burnout to keep the good teachers, do you think?
well, the staff that have jobs to deal with this type of stuff, like discipline and stuff like that, need to actually deal with it.
So having the principals hold that staff accountable?
Yeah.
And then the school board hold the superintendent accountable to hold the principals accountable. That's what you're thinking?
Okay. That was kind of like my question too. What would you do differently to address school burnout, teachers burnout and retention? We want to keep them. So what do we want to do differently to keep good teachers?
Well, and I think that's when it comes to like, you have the administrators and their salaries. I think a little more for the teachers would be nice. And that's what every teacher is like, oh, a little more would be nice. And a little more money would always be nice, but I think the amount of at Indian Trail they got 7 periods in a day, and that's all the high schools in Kenosha. You got 7 periods in a day. Teachers teach 6 out of those 7 periods. It gets to be a lot, and and then on top of that, they got to deal with students being disrespectful and rude and stuff like that. So that takes away from stuff. Like an English teacher, you got 6 periods a day, maybe 30 kids in a class. So you make them write an essay. That's a lot of essays you got to sit and read and grade them.
That's 180. 30 times 6 is 180.
That's a lot.
You got to sit there. They got to read them. They got to grade, and it always goes home. They always have to take their work home because they don't have enough time during the day.
Yeah.
But next year, though, there is. So I think this will help too with a lot of the teachers. Next year at Indian Trail, I don't know about the other 2 high schools, but next year, teachers only teach 5 out of 7 periods in a day.
Okay.
So they're giving them an extra period.
Okay.
So like their thing is because if from what I understand, when you have like an IEP or 504 meeting, you have an administrator, so like an assistant principal or something like that, the counselor, a social worker or something like that, and a teacher. They can't have all like 7 of the students teachers because they don't all have the same prep time.
Right.
So they'll pick like one. They'll let the student pick which one or something like that, and that teacher comes down. But when that period, when the IEP meeting's scheduled, they work it around when this teacher doesn't teach. So as of right now, if the teacher has to go into an IEP or 504 meeting, miss their whole prep time
Okay.
And lunch.
and lunchtime.
Okay.
And there's a lot of teachers in English
And bathroom
whose
time.
prep and lunch borders each other. So
Okay.
that helps.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So they
next
need.
year it'll be better. You get
Oh.
2 full periods and a lunch.
Okay. Well, that works out. That's
And
better.
I'd assume that it's the same thing at the
Mhm.
other 2 high schools. But then the thing is, one thing that I said, and even I have an administrator that said the same thing, is if they're going to shorten teachers' like instruction time to only 5 periods a day, so they can have more prep time, they're going to have to, like right now, classes, at least at my school, are like at a max for student capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to hire teachers next year. They have to hire some more teachers. Like I'll sit there and I'll look at this board and it's, okay, you've got each department, they write out +2, and all this stuff that they need. So that's more salaries and more teachers. So that I think that when it comes to hiring teachers and stuff like that, the like the referendums and stuff like that, the teachers should have been like the last thing that were cut.
Mhm.
But they're going to hire these teachers, and it seems to me it's like it repeats. They're going to hire these teachers next year, so there's more salaries they got to pay out, and then we don't have enough money, so then they're going to have to cut people, and they're going to cut the same teachers they just hired.
Yeah.
That is a revolving door for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on to students. What do you see as the biggest academic problem in our district right now, and how would you fix it? So you know that Wisconsin is one of the lowest. We have 31% reading, students reading at grade level at 4th grade. So part of what the school board does is approve a curriculum or like a committee. So what do you think would help improve that statistic?
How about they stop changing the curriculum? That'd be a thing that I would say. They keep changing. Like I got a math teacher. Like that's the thing with me. I want to teach math, and
That's a good subject to teach.
I go home, like when I was younger, I'd go home and I'd be trying to do this math stuff with my mom or like my grandpa. And I don't know what the hell this is. And, my mom had me when she was young. So there's a gap, but she's looking at this and it's just, you have all this math. Like, you think that math wouldn't change. But it
2
does.
plus 2 is 4. I mean, most of the time.
But
the
it's
new
like
math.
the way that they do math and stuff like this now compared to like when my mom was in high school she was astounded when I brought this up home. She's like, well, I don't know how to help you here, so next subject. Okay.
Common Core math is definitely a joke. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they did that.
They just keep changing stuff. And, I got people that have sent me messages and emails of their opinions on the new math stuff. And it's just, the stuff keeps changing. Keep stuff like that. Because you have teachers like teachers same age as my mom. They learned it a different way when they were in high school and in college. And now they're being told to teach this. And I don't know how to teach
Do you
this.
think it's because they want to change the books? Because there's people that make a lot of money just selling educational books,
Right.
and all you have to do is change one page. And to me, that's a way to save money. Is not to continue to change the books.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. You're right. Math is the same. It happened with me. My husband's ex-husband's son came, and I'm looking at it. But my mother, who went to a Catholic school, brilliant woman, she was able to kind of like figure it out over the phone type of thing because it's basic. But when you're looking at it, my mind went blank. I have no idea what this means exactly. But you're right about that.
Well, it's like the outcomes, like the answer is normally the same, but just the way that you get to that answer, they keep changing things up. And I mean, yeah, there was some stuff my mom was able to help me with. Like when I was in middle school, she was able to help me with that, and it got to the answer. Like teachers would post the answer key, and I think that's another problem too. I mean, yeah, like people like I don't look at the answer key until I'm absolutely like done or like after the thing's turned in. Like you got some teachers that post the answer key and kids just go right on there and and then they turn it in and they're oh wow, his grade's amazing.
There's no
But
retention.
He doesn't know anything
Yeah.
because he just looks at answer keys. Teachers
crazy.
post it out there. It's kind of like
That's interesting.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
But I think it's helpful for some people, like when it comes to me, and I want to actually look at myself to make sure I did it right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's normally I'll do that after I turn in the paper,
Mm.
and I'll look it over. Oh yeah, okay. But
Mm.
you get some people that just look at it right away, and they start going through test reviews, and they think that that's going to help them. Oh yeah, and the reviews will be graded. Oh wow, you got a 89% of the test review, and you got like a 54 on the test.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you define success quotes, for students? Test scores, graduation rates, life skills, or something else?
Life skills. I think in my like me right now as a senior in high school, I think graduation is kind of a success because you got a lot of kids that don't graduate too, but they
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of programs for something. You get some kids that just don't graduate, and it's easy to fall behind. I mean, it can be, and it should. I think graduation is a good thing too. I think that's shows success too, because you go to school every day and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think life skills.
Ultimately, it is about life skills, right? Do they teach basic life skills in high school? Writing a check, maybe loans and things like that. Do they
Taxes.
teach any of that stuff in school?
I would hope that's personal finance.
Yeah.
I haven't taken that class. That starts in
Oh.
2 weeks.
Okay, they do
Oh,
have
okay.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
We'll
would
check
hope
back
that's
with you.
I would hope that's what that class is
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know why it's a graduation requirement.
Right, like how to do a budget and things like that. That
I
is
want to
important.
say I think personal finance. That's what that is.
Okay, great.
All right. Okay. The last topic was safety. So, would you prioritize safety upgrades even if it meant reallocating funds from other programs? So, in other words, cutting football and fixing, safety upgrades, cutting the trades and fixing, like, would you, whatever you would think would be okay to cut?
Well, like a big thing for me is safety, and like I said, I like my trades classes and stuff like that. But I feel like safety would have to come first. So I think some stuff would have to be cut. And it's like I don't feel like it would have to be a permanent cut. Like you have schools with no secured entryways. Okay, well let's cut this program for let's cut their budget or something like this in half for 2 years, and then it will go back up. But I think safety is a big thing, so I do think some stuff would have to be cut. I think if you ask me first, the first thing I think should be cut is like I'd say I don't know if clubs get some sort of funding. I don't think that comes from the district if they get any, or I don't know if it comes from the district, but if they do get anything, I'd say it start there, and then move on to. Well, they should cut salaries downtown. That should be one thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So at the education
yeah.
support building.
Yeah.
I think that they should pause those or cut some of those to reallocate funds to do what they got to do to get things in order.
That makes sense. All right. You're up, Kathy.
So, same thing with safety. Do you support controlled entry points, security officers, or school resource officers? Why and why not?
Yes. Well, secured entryways, they play a big thing. I mean, otherwise you just have access right there to a school like a school like mine. You have 500 kids eating lunch across a couple hours a day. If somebody wants to do harm, they walk right in through the doors, and they do what they want to do. And that's not. I mean, that's an issue right now too. You got schools that have these secured entryways, the double doors, but they don't use them.
Like the procedures aren't being met.
Like it's at the double doors, you press the bell to get in, and let you in. You go through, and you're supposed to go into the main office right there. The next set of doors is supposed to be locked, so nobody can get in. So you're supposed to it's supposed to force you to go into the main office and check in and be questioned and stuff like that. You get schools that don't use that, so you go through one set of doors, and the next set of doors is unlocked, and you can go through, and then, I mean, they say you have to go into the main office, but if I'm there to do harm or something like that, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to go that way. They have some schools have security officers by the front door off duty, but their policy is they're not allowed to engage until somebody else has essentially done something, and by that point, the damage is done. And
Do they have guns, these security officers?
some people,
I think only the
the
SROs.
SRO has one, but
And
the thing is with that guy is his office isn't always like right there. It's,
The
some
SRO
schools,
is
like at
Security
my school,
Resource Officer.
in my school, the school cops office is in the dean's office area,
Okay.
which is like in the middle of the school.
Right, which,
So, and
So the School Resource Officer is a cop that's on duty, that's paid for by KUSD to keep the high school safe. SRO, School Resource Officer.
do they have metal detectors in
Yeah.
all these schools? None of them.
no,
Well, that to me seems like that the secured entry metal detectors would be a big deterrent in my mind. And then what you're saying, having somebody right by where the doors are, where somebody's going to first start, because you want to kind of first stop it from getting in and stop it
well, so you have
by catching them, and then
off-duty. They say that
Yeah.
people are off-duty cops, and I know that they are cops. I've seen them
Oh,
out
I
about.
don't know
I've seen a couple of them. I'll say that. I've seen them out. Like, oh, they are armed. Really? I don't know if they are actually armed because I'd sit there at lunch and I'd see there's like two sitting there at the desk. I see one get up, go to the bathroom, and I'll look over there. I don't see nothing unless they got stuff like in a safe under the desk. I don't know. I've never sat there.
that.
But if you ask me, the people at that desk really don't do their job. So, especially if you're not going to use the secured entryway to force people to go into the
Right.
office, you should, when you press, they're the ones that press the button to let the door unlock. You go to the ESC, press the button to get in, they go over the phone, hello, can I help you? You go to the,
Right.
they don't ask you anything. They
Right.
press the button, they let you
Right,
in.
right.
And when it comes time for like releases and kids that leave on release, these release sticker. You just walk up, get a release sticker, you just walk up, wave it at them, and they let you walk out. So if a kid, you have teachers that have said this, if a kid in the school, like loses this or something, because it's the same thing when you walk in, you just press the button, you walk in, you show it to them, and you walk through. These security officers don't know every kid's face,
Right,
so if
right,
they see the sticker, they're fine.
right.
I don't know, if a kid loses this in public or something like this, they can oh wow, and they go through and oh wow, and I have access to a school.
Yeah.
But they just don't pay attention.
That's a little scary.
Interesting.
They don't pay attention at the front desk.
Yeah.
All right. So I have one last question, and then you get time to give your final statement. Okay? Okay?
I do have one after that too, but go ahead.
Wait, we have two, Ed? Okay.
No.
Well, okay.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
So the last question is, if elected, what will you focus on your first year?
I'd like to say a lot of the stuff that I've been running on, but a big thing would be safety. That's a big thing for me, safety. And I feel like it would take some, another thing would be, yeah, you want staff retention and stuff like this, but you also want student retention. I mean, the enrollment's dropping like crazy. And they were like, oh, it's because the birth rate or something like this. I don't necessarily believe that. Because like I looked at Central High School's like enrollment report and stuff like this. And almost a quarter of their students are open enrolled students. And I looked at how many, there's a thing out there that says how many kids leave KUSD to be open enrolled somewhere else. And there's a lot, but a big chunk of that, I know a lot of people that left KUSD to go to the schools out there. A big chunk of the kids that go to Central through open enrollment are from KUSD, and they leave because of KUSD sucks. So, yeah, you want to retain teachers and staff, but I think retaining students is also a good thing.
What would you do to retain the students? What do you think? What do you think would keep these? What do you think would the parents like to see so that they would keep their students there?
More accountable administration.
Okay.
And transparency downtown. More the finances being managed much better than they are.
That makes sense.
Perfect.
Did you want to ask your last question?
No, that was pretty much cleared it up. So,
Okay.
but what is your top 3 key points of your platform or what you're running on?
And then you can go ahead and give your last statement.
Yeah, accountability and transparency. And I've looked, there's a lot of people, most people that are running for school board are saying that accountability and transparency. So it goes like for money management and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got safety and security in the schools,
Mm-hmm.
supporting staff and students to retain both of them. And I kind of went off, I kind of got 4, so I got keeping politics out of the schools.
Okay.
All right.
That's awesome.
You
Thank you
can't
so
really
much.
control students with their politics, but staff you should be able to.
Amen.
All right.
Great.
So what do you have any last words that you want to say before we au revoir?
I think it's time to get a new perspective on the school board.
And vote for who?
Get rid of some people on there that have been there for way too long, and don't vote in some people that are going to be just like the people that are currently on there and approve absolutely everything with their stamp. So I'd say vote for me and Bob Tierney.
February 17th in the primary. Thank you. All
Thank you so much.
right. Hopefully I got the whole thing and we don't have to do it again.
Right, hang on.
Yay!
Call my handyman.
Oh, wait, it's still going. What the heck?